Hello, welcome back to my channel. I promised you last week that I was going to share my Mather or Facebook scholarship essay with you and also give you tips about how to write a winnable essay. And that is exactly what I want to do today. So join me as I head over to my laptop and take you through the process. So I will read my essay and as and when I'll pause as and when it's needed, then I'll give you tips, valuable tips that you will need in writing your essay. So let's go.
Hello, I'm now behind my laptop. So I realized that my Facebook essay is very technical. And if you don't have electrical engineering background, you may not understand what if I'm saying. But the important part of it is the introduction and the conclusion. So what I want to do now is I want to go through tips on how to write a winnable essay. And after I'm done, I'll read the introduction and the conclusion and point out how I use these tips I'm going to mention in writing my introduction and conclusion. The very first thing I would advise you to do is to start the essay writing process early. By this time, you should have a list of all the scholarships you want to apply to and the deadline. Once you are aware of this, you need to begin the writing process early. The earlier you start, the better it will be for you to get feedback from people and to refine your essay to be better. The second point is definitely to understand the scholarship provider's overall mission and purpose. Even though you are the one writing the scholarship essay, you are not the one giving out the scholarship. Anything you write about should be in line with the mission and purpose of the scholarship owner. If you deviate from this, your essay will definitely not be picked up and you may not get the scholarship. So make sure that you refer to the mission and purpose while writing it and let it be reflected throughout your essay. Number three, follow the scholarship essay instructions. If they have a page limit or a word limit or whatever instructions that they have, make sure that you follow it. If they ask you to save your document in PDF or in Word document, do it exactly. Refusal to follow this may result in your scholarship essay being thrown out or not being read at all. This means that you have just wasted time in trying to put the essay together. Scholarship essays takes a while to perfect writing. So if this is your first or second time, you may have wasted a lot of time because you simply did not follow instructions. Once you know what you are to write about, you know the instructions, and you know the overall goal and mission of the scholarship, I would advise that you start writing. Just get a piece of paper or behind your laptop and start writing. Your first draft will not be the best, but it will boost your confidence. Even if you put one or two sentences down, that is good. Just start writing. I know that in the last point I mentioned that you should just start writing. But what has worked for me is that I like to plan my writing. So I need to get an idea about what I want to do. So that means that for each paragraph I want to write, I need to get a topic idea. What exactly do I want to write under this paragraph? Once I have that idea or the topic idea, I am able to write to develop it better. So if this works for you, first try to get a picture of what you want to write, group them into paragraphs, and just get the topic ideas. That may even be the what you do the first day. Then you come back again the next day and try and develop it. That's why you need to start early. Starting early gives you the time to able to sleep. Once you sleep, you may get fresh ideas when you wake up and you'll be able to write a very good essay. Number six, I will say that in any scholarship essay that you write, make sure that the opening and closing paragraphs are tied to the overall mission and purpose of the scholarship. That is the first thing they read. If they pick your essay, they are definitely going to read about your introduction. So, your introduction or your opening paragraph should talk about the purpose and the mission of the scholarship. Whatever you are writing about should tie that in, because that is what is going to keep the person reading stick to your essay. Number 7, keep revising. Seek out writing advice and feedback. As I mentioned, you need to start the process early, and your first draft will not be the best. So keep revising, seek writing advice. You can give it to your friends, you can give it to your family members to read it. If it is something about yourself, not necessarily your research, you can just ask them. Just go to your friends and ask them the question that you need to answer. So if they ask you to say any memorable thing or what are your strengths or stuff like that, just repeat that same questions to them, and you'll be surprised the ideas or the angles they give to you in how you are to even write your essay. So seek writing advice and feedback and keep on revising. Number 8, writing is not all about the ideas. Spelling and grammar matter a lot. So make sure that you check your spelling and the grammar. And the people that you give to can also help you with that, especially if those people are literature students or English students or people who like reading. They will be in the best place to help correct some of the spelling and the grammar errors that you have. Now we have applications that help in doing that. So you can also employ some of these applications to make your essay better. And the last one I would say is don't give up. The process can be very daunting. You may pick up your laptop, begin to write, and you close it again. As I said, put 1 or 2 sentences a day, and once you keep on to the habit of trying to write something, you will be surprised about what you will come out with. Let's look at how I apply the above tips in my Meta Fellowship essay. First, let's look at the fellowship. So the fellowship is for PhD students enrolled in an accredited university in the fall following the application cycle, and they should be actively engaged in research relevant to the available fellowship described on the program page. So you definitely need to go to the program page to look at that. And the instruction is a 500-word research statement that clearly identifies the anticipated research area of focus, its importance to the field, and its applicability to Meta. So at that time I applied, it was to Facebook. Look out for this. It says that your research area of focus is important to the field and its application to Meta or Facebook. So these are the things that I picked from it. What is my research summary or my research area? My research area is networking and connectivity, and I propose a title called Signal Transmission and Processing for Emergency Response in 5G. Now, let's look at the essay. So I have grouped the introduction into 2 because it couldn't all fit onto this page. So the first one, I'm going to read the first one. Nearly every day, emergencies such as disease outbreak, human accidents, and natural disasters continue to pose a risk to the lives of the public, first responders, and vulnerable properties alike. As a result, millions of dollars are pumped annually into emergency response and recovery. Telecommunications infrastructure that could link first responders, victims, and families of victims during such critical times are usually unavailable. Fortunately, Facebook's emergency awareness content and safety features have tremendously helped in emergencies in recent times. But more work needs to be done to improve networking and connectivity during emergencies. One way is to incorporate prompt emergency response in the next generation networks. So let's take a step back and look at this whole thing critically. You realize that Facebook wanted a research summary or a research statement that pushes the boundary of the field as well as how it is applicable to itself. So, in this introduction, I'm looking at things on a high value, right? On a broader sense. I have not really spoken into the details of what exactly I'm going to do. I'm just giving statistical knowledge what is happening. And I've also stated over here, as we can see, that Facebook as emergency awareness content feature. So I don't know if you've observed it on Facebook that if there is any natural disaster happening, like flooding or anything, you can mark to yourself as safe. And Facebook have used even this to help first aid organizations to be able to track people or where people are moving. So, this feature was very important for me because my research was about emergencies. So, I talked in high level while also bringing in what Facebook is doing and praising them for that. That my research is going to help them in this feature that they have in their system already. So you can see that I have picked some of the points I mentioned earlier in drafting this first part of the essay. Now let's move on to the second part. To support such mission critical scenarios, there is the need to shift from the traditional cellular system in order to incorporate services that adhere to strict timing deadlines. This and many others are the reasons behind the active research by the research community in Internet of Things, that is IoT, and fifth generations 5G, which aim at providing a higher data rate, low latency, energy efficient, and above all, a disaster resilient system to enable real time context aware collaboration through 5G and mobile edge computing. The existing boundaries on communications should be pushed further. So, with this, I'm just talking about what is already there and what needs to be done. So, as I said, in research, you identify a problem. What is currently happening? What is currently happening is that a lot of people are doing research into this, and you have so many mission critical scenarios. If you want to respond in emergencies, it means that whatever information you should send should be very fast. That is, the delay should be as low as possible. It shouldn't use energy because in a situation whereby there is power blackout or light out and something relies on battery and your system uses a lot of energy, it means within a shortest possible time you can get infrastructure or you won't be able to communicate. So these are some of the critical things you need to understand from the research statement that you're proposing and make sure that it is captured in your introduction. So now let's look at the conclusion. As a force to be reckoned with, Facebook does not only connect friends and families, but also gives people the power to build community and bring the world closer together. Facebook's safety check has been vital in providing information to family members, friends, and first responders in times of emergency. As we move towards 5G and ubiquitous IoT networks, it is necessary for people to be hooked up to the network within nanoseconds while using minimal resources during such critical moments. And that is what my research seeks to accomplish. So, in conclusion, after I've talking about what exactly I'm going to do in my research, I am still back again talking about exactly what Facebook is doing to help people. So you say it in the introduction, blend it up with what you want to talk about, your research essay. Then in conclusion, you also bring it in. It is more of a praise I'm giving to them. It is more of pushing their boundaries. It is more about reminding them about the good things that they've done and what my work will help them further in the good thing they are doing. This is how you can go about writing your essay. And as I said, essays can be different depending on the topics that they've given to you. But then knowing the mission and the purpose of the scholarship is very important so that whatever you write will be suitable for that. So this is the tip I have for you. I definitely also have other scholarship essays that definitely maybe I will bring them up, read together with you, and point out some of the tips that you can use as well. I hope you enjoy this, and I'll definitely see you again.